Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gym. If you are a regular listener, thank you very much for joining us. If you're a new listener, you're also very, very welcome. I've got two of the regular listeners on the show, which means my downloads this week will be even lower. But I am delighted to welcome the BBC's newest superstar, Lynn. And she's managed to slot us into a very busy, I'm going to say international schedule, because you did go to Edinburgh.
Yeah, I did.
And then Jenny to make sure I properly behave myself, which may has already gone wrong. We will very, very briefly discuss Carlisle and Farnham. I may have already covered it a bit too much for what I promised, but hey, that's what's going on. We do love hearing from you. Join the conversation, stay connected, share your thoughts at Sutton Podcast on all social medias. Thank you very much to everyone who does share and shout out as well. Jenny, let's start with you. Away from football, how are you?
I'm fine because I didn't go to Carlisle. I went to Farnham. Oh yeah,
exactly.
Apart from that, I'm fine.
Excellent. And Lynn, making your debut.
I am.
It is great to have you on, chasing you a little while. Anyone who doesn't know you, who clearly doesn't buy any 50/50s or anything like that, but anyone who doesn't know, give us a little bit of an intro of yourself and your Sutton United supporting history.
So I've been supporting Sutton for probably about 10 years, although I've lived within the Sutton area all my life, lived in North Team all my life. So Sutton's always been a presence, shall we say. But probably started following probably about 10 years ago with my husband Andrew. And then started going to the away matches probably about 3 seasons ago. Our first away match was at Accrington Stanley. So Andrew's always wanted to go there. So off we went. And that's where our home and away journey started, really. So, yeah, that's where we are.
Neither of you picked up on my very funny joke of who are they, but okay.
Well, I was going to say, well, look how that went when you went to Accrington.
Yeah.
So, you also, not just home and away, I mean, you go to pretty much all the away games now as well, but you also are the 50/50, or one of the 50/50 ticket sellers. How did you get roped into helping with the supporters club and doing that?
We were just asked to join by the lovely Alison Holloway, who's the chair of the supporters committee. I think they were short one afternoon, so we just got roped in. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. Obviously, all the money raised goes to the supporters club towards the coaches, which numbers have been dwindling, but we still managed to get a coach to go to most places. Obviously, Carlisle was quite a stretch because, it's a long way, so to do in one day. But we've done Hartlepool recently, Scunthorpe, Gateshead, all in a day. So anybody that wants to fancy to come on the coaches, feel free. It's such a laugh. We stop off on the way, have some giggles, and just as I say, all the money from the 50/50, half goes to the winner and half goes to the supporters club. So it's a good cause.
Excellent. I'm not ambushing you on this because it's only come out the other day, but I like the way that the season ticket now is going to incorporate the supporters club, because I think one of the problems, certainly for me, is remembering to go and do it. And I've kept saying for years, just do it as an auto renewal. Most people will go, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. But I'm really, really pleased. Is that something that you guys pushed for? Were you approached for it?
I think obviously, you know, Alison's the chair, so she's been dealing, I think, with Phil Tatters. So yeah, I think it's a good move by the club, and obviously it will help out the supporters club. So, you know, I think it is a good move. It means that people, you know, don't have to sign up if they want to come on one of the coaches. They don't have to sign up, then fill out it at the time or whatever. It's already done. And then they can just come round to the hub in the fan zone and put their names down for the coaches. Not that I'm plugging the coaches, obviously, but we do need more supporters. And it is a shame because we all want to get behind the team. You know, and I know some games are nearby, you can get on the train, etc., but you can't always guarantee the trains are running. Or I know it took us, I think it was 6.5 hours to get back from Carlisle, but I know people that went on the train, their journey was 7 hours. So it doesn't always pay to go by train. You know, there's always, you know, you've got to change, or you know, the trains aren't running, or you can't get back because, you know, the lateness of the trains, there's not one to get back from. So yeah, give the coaches a go. It's a good giggle.
And we've mentioned Carlisle a couple of times, but you made your BBC.
I did.
Yeah, with Patrick Kilty, no less.
Yeah.
How was that, and how was the rap?
Actually, it was a bit hair raising, just like sitting waiting for him to call to say you'll be on in a minute, like, you know. But once, you know, I got through, he was very lovely, and obviously we beat the vendor 2-1, so that was excellent. I did misunderstand the third question, so I thought he just said pizza, not a 7-inch pizza, which is why I went higher. But anyway, we won 2-1. So, and the wrap was absolutely delicious. I think right. Their fan zone is the best. I think travelled all round, and their fan zone is the best in the league. Massive TV screen, loads of food vendors, really nice people, you know, coming up and speaking to you and etc. So yeah, really nice. And the wrap was especially nice, and it was free, which was even better.
Right, a little bit of club news. We have not been in the national news this week. That's outrageous. 2 weeks in a row we're in the national news, and now nothing. And also don't forget the fans game on the 1st of May. Looks like Jenny's had enough.
Hi, Jenny.
Said we're not in the national news, and she's gone. Right, so we'll push on. Despite the result, how was the Carlisle trip? I mean, we've covered some of it, but how was the Carlisle trip in general?
It was really good. Obviously, travelled up on Friday with my daughter Anna, which probably some of you know, and Donna, my fellow 50/50 seller. Travelled up Friday, met up with some more supporters in town on Friday night, made our way to the game on Saturday after my BBC debut, obviously. And it was a really good weekend. Then obviously watched the game, which obviously didn't go the way we wanted, but hey ho, we still support them. We still, you know, get behind the team. So, and then Sunday, off to Edinburgh Zoo we went, another 2-hour drive, and then back on Monday. So, yeah, it was a really good weekend.
And then last night straight to the football, and tonight you're actually rushing out to the football as well.
I am. So last night off we went to Farnham, and then tonight I'm off to watch Lucy Clark-Taylor and the ladies play. I think they're playing Dartford tonight, which I think is quite hard, although they did beat them last time round 1-0.
Yeah, I think they're the only team to beat them so far, I think.
Sorry?
I think they might be the only team to beat Dartford so far.
Yeah, I think so far, yeah. So good luck to the ladies tonight. And again, please get behind the ladies team because they work so hard and they're doing so well, and I don't think they get the recognition that they need. They get, they deserve. So get behind the ladies when the season tickets come out next season for them. They've got some really good players, so yeah, please get behind them.
Internationals as well now as well.
Yeah, I know there's 3 out tonight because they're on international duty. So yeah, they play. It is a different kind of football, but actually sometimes, I know I shouldn't say this, but I actually prefer it to the men.
It's a very different
It's very
atmosphere.
different, very open play, and yeah, you get some good football, believe it or not. So yeah, get behind the ladies next season.
But the biggest takeaway from Carlisle is we are safe.
We are safe.
Mathematically safe. Nothing.
We are.
Nothing can go wrong, and that was one of Aggie's. Well, that was one of his jobs. Basically, that was your target, is to make sure we stay in this division. I think we were definitely in the bottom 2 or 3 when he took over.
Yeah.
And I've had we'll do a proper catch up at the end of the season with like the fans' views and stuff. But I did some quick counts. I think since he's come in, well, before he came in, we'd only won 1 game. And since he's come in, we've got like 1.3 points per game, which, had that been over the whole season, we'd be 10th. I know it's not perfect, but I want to kind of touch on that. The Southend match and the Carlisle match, did that show to you the gulf in where we are and where we need to be? Because they're both sort of up there battling for sort of these playoff spots. Now, Southend, we had a lot of youngsters, we had a lot of players missing, but the Carlisle one we probably got out more or less, I think, without Charlie. Yeah. He was only 18. The strongest side we could get. How do you feel about the golfing difference between us and Carlisle, for example?
I think it does show there is a gulf. Carlisle were a big physical team with experience, and I think that's where we lack. And I think Aggie is aware of that. I know sort of he's already said, in various interviews, in the off-season, that's where he wants to bolster the team, is with a bit of more experience. Obviously, we've got Jake Taylor in the middle of the park there, but around him, I think we are the youngest team in the league, or one of the youngest. And when you've got the likes of Charlie Bell, who's 18, Junior Eccleston's 19?
I think he's 18 as well.
Yeah, Dan Erpens, that's come through the academy, played the last couple of games. I mean, he's obviously, again, local lad, lived on the Park Farm estate, went to Cheam Park Farm, junior school, infant school, because I actually used to look after him at after school club since he was 5. So, and all he ever wanted to do, well, sort of, I sort of waved at him the other day and said hello, and he sort of looked at me, but all he ever wanted to do was play football.
Yeah.
From the minute I picked him up. So, our other players, I think they're sort of 21, 22. Brandon's only 21. So that's where I think we need, a bit more experience to bring those lads on and, show them a bit to get a bit more physical. I know we shouldn't, but, other teams, they get, a little push and they go down rolling as if they've, been poleaxed. And we don't do that. That's the thing they've got to learn. They've got to, and I think that's where the experience would come in. Right. The fact that, the free kicks and things that we give away just by some of the, experience of others, shall we say, of the Carlisle players that have been around the block a bit and know how to, not feign injury, but do you know what I mean? It's, just throw themselves on the floor.
My brother-in-law,
we could do with a bit of that.
Yeah, my brother-in-law perfected the art of screaming ref just as the challenge is coming in.
Yeah.
And the ref turns to see him throwing himself and he goes, something must have happened. Jenny, thanks for coming back.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. I was like, our forwards went missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know what you've spoken about.
Well,
you froze and I was still going, so I didn't swear or anything. Okay. And then I thought, just come out and rejoin, which is what I did.
Well, what we were talking about briefly is the Southend match to extent, because there was players missing, and then the Carlisle match showed does it show the difference in class, the golfing class between our players and the players that battling at the top end? I mean, we have to remember that Carlisle have a budget probably 5-6 times bigger than ours, because they've got the EFL parachute, they've got crowds of 6,000 odd week in, week out. They've got a lot more than we have, so there's going to be a discrepancy there. But where do you see, Jenny?
People go on about the budget, I know, but for instance, is it Lincoln City that have said that they've got one of the small, they haven't got a massive budget? Is it Lincoln? Because they're going up, I know. It was one of the teams I heard lately who are doing well. It might have been non-league, but they were saying, for what we've done, and I'll be honest, this budget thing, yes, but just because you have a huge budget doesn't always mean success. My view, and it sort of comes through with supporters as well, and I'm not digressing, but now like the season ticket prices have come out, and I've heard people, I've seen them go, I'm not going to buy a season ticket, blah, blah, blah. To me, it's all about yourself. For instance, I do care where they play, but I will still watch them if they're in the Ryman's League. Oh, we're not in Ryman's, but do you know what I mean? I would still watch them. And to me, you take that to the players. But players will play for Sutton United or play for the shirt if they want to. Yes, they want to have a living wage if they're full-time and they're professional. But years ago, before everyone's time, no, it used to be local lads. Ted Powell was a PE teacher or a teacher that Dario Grady, they were local people. Even when we played Coventry, they worked up in town. They didn't need the money. But it's like us. I'll always get a season ticket. I mean, a full one. Now, I didn't have one when I was a teenager and that, but they're my team.
Yeah,
now, if it's
back in those days.
for the players, if they want to play for Sutton, as long as they get a wage, I don't know, but
I think it's
not always
changed.
about the budget.
Yeah, I think it has changed since days of John Raines, for example, where a lot of players said, I wanted to play for John Raines, I didn't actually care what else was going on. There is a difference now, because as you said, it is their job. It's not...
I'm old school, sorry.
Yeah. But, yes, we still do have a name. I obviously, I always try to be positive. I do worry, especially on social media, with a lot of people whinging and complaining. Will any potential new signings be looking at and go, sod that, I'm not going to Sutton? Their fans aren't happy with anything. Cause the job that's happened and the season we've had, it's not been great. It's been really roller coaster, but there's been a lot of issues that Aggie has kind of said. The fitness, for example, the big squad, the possibly disharmony. He hasn't said that, but maybe there's disharmony because people weren't playing. He's obviously made a comment about some of the players not up to standard. So the job he's done, where do we stick that in our most recent seasons? Obviously, it's not as good as the promotion season, but where do we sit that job? I mean, I'm probably straying into the end of season thing anyway, but very briefly, do you think he's doing a better job than maybe he's getting credit for, or do you think we're back?
Well, I've got a view on this. Can I have a quick Right. I mean, I listened to his after-match interview for the Farnham game.
Yeah.
And he was really down. He wanted to win, right? And he sort of bared his heart on his sleeve in that he said, and I sort of see this, and I was sort of the view, he's done everything he could. He's told them, and it just doesn't happen. He said on a previous, not that long ago, he doesn't know why. Well, the only thing I would suggest, you see, and also people don't like this playing out from the back. Now, my view on that is there's no problem with playing out from the back if you've got the players that can do it. Because if they do it, and they do it well, it's brilliant. It's absolutely awesome, because I've noticed now, doesn't matter what league you're in, non-league. I mean, I said I watched Bognor at Christmas, right? They played out from the back. And I'm like, blimey, they're all doing it and everyone does it. Now, so having seen them now all season. They've got it right a couple of times. But my view now, and I've got to say this, which is a bit sad, but obviously I don't consider it's the manager. But obviously the players he's got can't do it.
No.
That can't do it right. Now, a lot of them have come up from lower leagues and they do that, but they either don't gel together. And I don't also say that the players aren't good enough, because you think back, and I've got to use professional, you think back to people like De Bruyne, who's at Chelsea, useless, Salah, right? They go into a team where it fits and it works, absolutely fantastic. Now, all Aggie's got to do, which all of them do, is get the fit and the right players. I would say the season we went up, or that fantastic, they fitted, they gelled together. Some have in our team, but we haven't. Like last night, right? It was we got to the halfway line, we nearly got to bed, and then we ran out of ideas. We didn't know. No one knew what to do. And you can't have, it's not their fault, they're not bad players. We can't have little players going into the box, getting across him when you've got man mountains on the defence on the other side.
He was huge last night, wasn't he, Jenny?
They were units, right? And poor old Bonner, I thought every time. So
and Jermaine.
And Jermaine, I mean, it's like pat him on the head,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so a lot of people get Aggie out. I mean, I stood somewhere, I moved when this guy was particularly vindictive about Chris Agaton, right? No, right? It's like anything. You've got to get the right mix. He thought some players he knew before. Remember, they weren't all in the same team. He's put them in. Okay, some worked, some didn't. Like he said, and we got to trust. I will trust him. He knows. He feels he knows what is needed. Now, I'm an optimist. I'll go with that, right? And I'll get him out. Oh, but the players he got in, and each Saturday or Tuesday, I'd like. And we saw times where it worked, and it did, but not enough. And in fact, when I was driving to Farnham, I thought it was going to be, and I was right, another Leeds United, although that was a cup final, and I felt sorry for Chris Agaton, because I thought, not to be rude to Farnham, and it is the Surrey Senior Cup, great, but they should have beaten Farnham. They should have beaten them, but they look like, come on, lads, on Saturday, put on a show. Put on a show, please.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling they're not going to.
Okay, I mean, there's a couple of points.
Sorry,
that's absolutely fine. Lynn, did you want to pick up on any of those, or do you,
No, I just think, like Jenny said, he was brought in to do a job. He's done that. He's kept us up in the league, which is what he was ultimately brought in for. So, now push on. I think he knows, like Jenny said, where he wants to, strengthen the team. As I said before, probably with a bit more experience. It was high. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the defender last night, like Jenny said, against Ogbonna and Jermaine, he was about 7'8", wasn't he, Jenny? He was huge, and he was a big lad. I mean, at one point, I think I shouted out, like, Jermaine run through his legs, because he was so huge, He
was.
And, we just need someone, like you say, with a bit of strength, a bit of experience, a bit of height. Someone like, I know some people didn't like it, but someone like Harry Smith to work alongside the little guys, that can nod a ball down. But as Jenny said, we got sort of to halfway, and there was no one with that bit of spark no ideas. It was like, bung it out to the side. And then, Jermaine or, Obi had tried to, get it in the box, and there was no one in there. And you're like, we're not going to score because there's no one in there. None of the team were like following it up to, maybe, have a shot or just even have a shot. Like, amount of times we've shouted out, shoot, like,
I don't think their goalkeeper made a save, did he?
No.
apart from the penalties, I don't think we had any.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
I mean,
say pick it out the back of the net, but they don't even do that because
Yeah.
it's the backboard.
I mean, like Jenny said, just back yourselves, lad.
Yeah,
Have a shot. It might ping off a leg. We get a corner, we score. We might ping off a leg and go in the goal. And as on Saturday, just put a show on for the fans and show them what you can do. It's the last home game. Hopefully there'll be, a fair few people there. Maybe not be. I know it's Paul Brunson's whatever as well. So, just send people away with,
yeah,
a good feeling and
Going to
none of this
summer with-
negativity that's been bandied around over the last few weeks. Because, I mean, I've heard some vile abuse towards,
yeah.
Aggie over the last couple. There is no need for that. As
No.
if the players don't know that when they've lost to Morecambe, 5-0, that, they
But
haven't
they
played
know.
well.
They
It's
know.
like, of course they know. They don't want to hear the vile abuse that they're getting, and the youngsters especially. We've touched on how young they are. Well, if you're being told week in, week out, you're beep beep beep, what are you doing? Beep beep beep, well, of course they're gonna feel it. You get that if you're
And they
getting
won't want
told
to
that
play
every
for
week,
us. They
and they
won't want to
won't.
play
Yeah,
for us.
Well, that's what I was touching on the social media side. Is not only would they be like, "Oh, I don't fancy that," and also I don't want to make that decision. You were talking about shooting. It
Yeah.
puts that doubt of I don't want to make the mistake. So therefore,
Josh Coley's.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going to
remember
go
that.
backwards. I'll get someone else to do it.
yeah.
But do new players see that and think I don't want to be part of that, or potential new players? You mentioned it was the Surrey Senior Cup. You mentioned I know a lot of people don't like it. Well, I'm one of those. I do feel that Dukey is pretty much the only person who can really complain because he's the only person who banged on about the Surrey Senior Cup for years. But he wanted it. Aggie wanted it, as you said. Do we think this is? You've mentioned the Leeds match. This was a different set of players.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's some of them were the same. Do you think this is a problem? Because there's been times during this season where we put some results together and we're like, right, a win on Saturday will push us up into the table, put us X number of points behind, ahead, and we can then bomb forward. And every single time we've got to that point of just pulling away,
And it's gone wrong.
blocked. Do you
Yeah.
think that might be a mentality thing, or do you think the pressure's too much?
I just think.
Yeah. Go on.
Sorry, Jen.
No, go on.
I just think as well, those games where we have won, where have they been? Away.
Yeah.
It's the same supporters that go away. There's a core group of us that go away. And, yeah, we shout and whatever, but it's not as negative as at home, I mean, yeah, as I say, I've heard the abuse that, Aggie and the team have had, and there's no need for it. Yeah, we all, have our gripes and whatever, and we all shout, what are you doing? And, pass it forward and all that. But, it is generally the same people that go away. And, they're really appreciative that, we go up to Hartlepool on a Tuesday night and then we're at Scunthorpe the next week and then we're at Gateshead the next week. And it is a totally different atmosphere. So when they get home, it's like, oh, here we are again. What are we going to get this time? Everybody shouting, blah, blah, blah. I know there's that train of thought of, well, you've got to give us something to shout about, which, totally agree with.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is like their mentality when they get... And I don't know how they're going to change that or how Aggie and Dino are going to be able to change that. But you can see it. For someone who goes home and away, you can see the difference in them.
When you're going away, first of all, you put a bit more investment into that journey, so you're determined to have a good time anyway. Claire touched on it last week, where she said some of it is the layout, Gander Green Lane, because when you're trying, everyone's got their own favourite little bit, and when you're trying to make some noise or be positive, it kind of gets drowned out. But yeah, I mean, there's a certain element of people will say, well, I pay my money, I can do what I like. There's a yes and a no there. You can be frustrated, of course you can, but it was discussed quite a lot on social media last week. There was quite a few people thinking, it was a bit unfair, saying it was toxic, but It is. You can't go around telling people they're
No.
shit because otherwise they'll go, okay, well I'll be shit because you're telling me I am
You
anyway.
tried getting that week in, week out, and
I do,
at work,
on the
and
podcast.
you're not going to put up with it for
I
that
get
much longer.
I
And
get Jenny coming on telling me how awful I am. It's fine.
I think there's just a really good saying that I saw somewhere on socials, and it was like support, not abuse.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Southend's had so many supporters, and it really showed up, which was great. That when you're down the other end, a lot of the lads, the youngsters, they were sort of singing "Your support is rubbish,"
Yeah.
and you actually proved it. You couldn't hear their support on the curver because there's no roof,
Yeah.
and so we really, we need to keep where we are because it was packed out that end, and it proved actually you can't really hear that support. So I'm looking back thinking I'm gutted that we actually in some parts of the EFL that we get. I know it was for monetary reasons, but can I just the point
We
of
need roofs everywhere.
Yeah, we do.
Get
The point
tin
of
roofs everywhere.
yeah, the point of like the team turn up maybe on away matches, but the next match they don't. Whether it's home or away, I have to say, and Aggie said, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been trying to not work it out, and I've thought, well, is it because at home they get abuse a bit and they can hear it? But I don't know. I'm not sure that is I really don't know, and I don't think Chris knows.
No,
I really don't think Chris knows. And the bottom line is, like he said, there's people last night, they're not going to be here because if it's that they were playing for their contracts, then if you go by last night, there were players there who don't want to play for us if they were playing for their contracts. And it's sad, but I just hope, because of the negativity, like I said before, that the youngsters coming through. Now, you've got Junior, I mean, if you notice, even his boots are yellow, right? I know whether he's going or not, but he's Sutton through and through. And he's, but we don't want to create the youngsters. And wow, look at the ones we've come through from the academy. We don't want them to think, right, as soon as I hit the first team, I'm going to really play well because I want away. I mean, but I don't know why they've played up and down all season. Can't work it out.
One other thing we need to kind of factor in is we did lose Jack Taylor in the summer, and we haven't really replaced.
Kai.
We lost Kai. I mean, I was quite not blasé, but I was like, I understand why they're doing that. But now it's like, well, was he a much bigger loss than I perhaps realised?
And Wimbledon are not. They're playing him either as a sub or
not playing him.
Or not playing. Come on, guys. We could have had him back and got to the playoffs. outside the playoffs for you, Mike.
I watched it on YouTube, so thanks to Farnham for doing that on YouTube. That was actually quite handy. So,
it was brilliant.
Sorry, you were at the game. I was watching on YouTube.
No, but in their clubhouse, they had it on, and it's fantastic telly. I mean, I nearly thought staying here, but I didn't.
Some people were saying that they're really biased, and I was like, well, first of all, it's their home commentary on their own channel, so of course they're biased, but I didn't think they were, compared to some other ones I've heard. But I was hoping that now we're safe, that what would happen is the players would have a bit of freedom and a bit of you know what, that weight, that monkey's off my back.
Go for it,
We did seem to have the opposite. There were times, as you said, Jenny, we were cutting them open with that playing it out. In our final third. Can we expect the opposite on Saturday? Lynn, you've just said we win a game and then we have a bad game. We've had a couple of bad games. Can we now?
So we do a good game. And also we're due to thrash someone. So let's hope on Saturday that they come out, like you say, there's no pressure on them. They can just come out, play their game, put on a good show for the fans. They just need to play with a bit more urgency. Like a few times over the last couple of days, Jack or like Chris last night will hold the ball, and like Jermaine's putting his hands up, he's ready to roll, and it's we'd put it sideways, and then it goes sideways. Just look up every now and again, and I know they've been told probably to play out the back or whatever. Sometimes you need to change it up and be quicker. Just get out there and you know, just boot the ball forward every once in a while. They're waiting for it,
Well,
Jermaine.
Farnham did that, didn't they?
Yeah,
When Farnham got the ball,
we said,
they
didn't we,
attacked.
Jenny?
They were just struck. Well, we were talking about it. When we got it. Now, if you notice as well, when we were playing out from the back, and this was the difference of the leagues and the standard. When we do that in the league, we're always like, they're going to miss it. They're going to lose it because of the press of the drive. Farnham didn't do that. We never had any problem of thinking that we'd lose it at the back, like we occasionally do, right? Because they didn't play like that. And in a way, that showed where they are in their league.
Yeah.
They never come. We never looked like we were going to miss pass it or anything. But when we got it, we stood on the ball and had a look and ran. Whereas when they got their ball, boom, they were down there running down the wing. Right, okay, we could snuff that out. But I'm like, go on. Now, if they're told to do that all the time, then they've got to be a bit snappier.
Yeah.
Because by then, Farnham had all got back into position.
Yeah. Exactly,
snuffed everything
Jenny.
out, parked the bus, come on then, Sutton, do you? And I'm like, and it was really...
Yeah, instead of the quick ball out, like,
Farnham
like,
did that.
No, let's go sideways. And by then, like you say, Jenny, they were, the 7'8" blokes were already like, come on in, like, you're not going to get past us, because they were literally, you could see they were all back in their positions, and then obviously we've got nowhere to go, like, it's like every now and again, lads, change it up, do a quick one. Jermaine and Obi are as fast as, the road runner. And then even Brandon, you can put in that, he didn't play last night because I think he's injured. But, he's as quick as anything as well. Every now and again, just get it out quicker, and I think that's part of the frustration.
I won't knock any of the players, right? And maybe they're not good enough for that league. But all I would say to them, if they were listening now, and beg them, is look, you can do it at times. Please, this is the last home match of this season. Many of us think you've been brilliant. You kept us up. We will be in the National League next season. Be free. Go out. Enjoy yourselves. But enjoy yourselves a little bit faster.
Yeah.
No, give something for the...
back yourself.
It's like, your last day at work, you want to have a good closure. You want to have a good... A lot of them won't be there next season. I always say a good goodbye or a good leaving is great for them and well for us. But I can remember times where we haven't, and you've got a whole summer for the supporters, especially, where it's... it's horrible. Lads, please, go out. Give us... go on. Give us something to really enjoy.
I think the frustration there is, it's not that we think, you can't do it.
Yeah,
we've seen you do it.
Yeah.
We know you can do it.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing it constantly? But I think the problem we've got, Lynn, I'll come to you on this, is we need basically everyone to be on it. So whereas other clubs have got 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 game changers, we might only have a couple. Yeah. And we need every single person to be on it, sort of 8s and 9s out of 10s all the time. Whereas other teams, they can drop to 6s and 7s. Oh, 6, 7, yay.
That's right.
Other teams can drop
6,
it down.
7.
Yeah. I don't think they do that anymore. But, I mean, we have got another game. Firstly, the Prediction League is up to date. And the winning at the moment is Up the U's. They are 9 points clear. So basically, if they match Los Gandors, they're going to win it. So I think that's Ben.
Where am I? Am I in the playoffs?
I didn't do it for a few weeks because mine didn't work.
I made sure you got to hassle him if it don't work. Yes. I'm about 12th, I think.
Right, it's the same email. It's the same link. And I think both of you, your email...
I used an old link.
Flagged up that it's spam and it starts rejecting it.
Yeah.
It's ain't new next season anyway.
All right.
And what are you called, Jenny? Do you remember?
Amber Exile, isn't it?
You're 12th.
There you go. I mean, just as good as my team.
Yeah. And Lynn,
better.
Were you pink hats away?
I think that's Andrew.
All right. Do you know what you?
Come on.
I think I'm Love Amber with a heart or something.
My Lord.
Annoyingly,
Is that me?
Andrew's above you.
No, he's always
you're 18th. He's 17th. You're 18th, and there's
there you go.
4 points in it.
You'll have to be BBC superstar next
Yeah.
time, but you'll have to be 5 Live, you know,
Yeah,
star or
Patrick
something.
Gilly, get him down.
Yeah.
Right, so we have
Right.
Altrincham. Lynn, what do you expect and what do you hope for? Prediction. You can change your prediction, by the way, up
Okay.
until kick-off. So
All right.
you're not locked in here.
I just hope they go out, play freely, give the fans a good send-off, and like Jenny said, if they're playing their last game at home for Sutton, they give themselves a good send-off, and that, we just, go away with a good result. I think I'll go 2-0 to us.
2-0. Excellent.
Yeah.
Jenny, what you hope
Right.
and what do you think?
Well, what I hope is what Lynn has said, and also I have to say, as it's supposedly the awards presentation afterwards, come on, lads. I mean, who wants to, if you've lost 3-0, wants to face the punters? Whereas, if you have a sneaky 1-0 win, mate, those punters are going to be happy. It's simple.
And also, they're going to stay.
Yeah.
After the last couple of games, it's been a bit of a ghost town in there, and you're like, don't blame people for going home because,
so my hopes are, come on, guys, last home match, put on a show, but we'll always let a goal in. We'll let a goal in. We will let a goal in, whether it's in the.
No, I'm going clean sheet.
Simo, she's talking to you, mate.
Simo, we love you in the goal, and I'm always saying it's not your fault necessarily.
Yeah.
We always let a goal in, don't we? No, let's have a clean sheet, and more than one goal. Simps, we know you probably on the way out.
Somewhere.
So do you're cutting on from the left, and then one of them screamers to
Lovely.
the top. That's what we want to see, right? On your left. So I'll go. Let's go for it. I'll go for a 3-0 win.
Oh, good on you, Jenny.
Beautiful. We won't talk about the one after where we go to Boringwood. And,
I'm not going.
If you are going on
the coach.
on a way, you have to dress up.
Oh, okay.
It's fancy dress, and the cows will be there.
Don't forget.
And there's a public service announcement. Someone said that the trains aren't going to Thameslink, so that's
get on the coach.
Get on the coach.
Or go
get round in the fan zone to the hub. Get yourself on the coach. The Duncan and Betsy, the Highland cows, will be on the coach. They have got their own TikTok. Sorry, I have to do a plug here. They have got their own TikTok page. It's Duncan and the Girls FC. And if you want to see their shenanigans on the away matches, they're on there. So they are absolutely brilliant. So it's such a good laugh.
That's a good plug there, Lynn, isn't it?
They even went to Carlisle and went and met their Highland cousins at Edinburgh Zoo. So get on there and have a look.
That's a worse joke than I made.
And the Girls FC. Brandon follows them. There you go.
There we go. What I was going to say about Boringwood is don't forget they've got Matt Rush, who's scoring goals for absolute jokes.
I will be in North Wales with probably no signal, so I won't have a clue what's going on, and I shall find out when I can
get back
next season.
Next season.
That's fine.
No, I will go somewhere where there's a signal and find out, but after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to wrap up this episode of Sutton Podcast. As always, we appreciate everyone's attention and feedback. Follow, like, and share at Sutton Podcast on social medias. Subscribe, give us a review, give us the thumbs up. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Lucky Star Gin. Big thank you to the debut girl, Lynn. I think you've done a solid job. Well done,
thanks.
And,
not sure about that.
And the old stalwart, Jenny.
Yay.
Oh, yes.
Stalwart. Look at you, Jenny.
We love you, Mike. We love you.
We love you, Mike.
Thank you to everyone for listening. Hope you've enjoyed this episode and take care. We will catch up soon. Bye-bye. United! United! United!